This is the All Things Nerd Podcast, Season 3, Episode 30, Trailers, Black Panthers, and Technology. Oh my! That's the name of this episode. Tonight we're going to be talking about the latest movie trailers that have come out, our reactions to those, some nerd news with Black Panther 2, The Nevers, and technology advancements, and if we have more time, then we may get to something having to do with Halloween. So, with that, here's the intro. Hello to all the Geek Enthusiasts and Nerd Aficionados. This is Mess 5150 here with another All Things Nerd podcast for you as I get lightheaded because I'm losing the air that I just sucked into my head. Hi, how's it going? I am your host.
You sucked air into your head?
I am your host, Mess 5150. Joining me on the cast, we have four fantastic Geek Enthusiasts and Nerd Aficionados from the Malice Corp brand. This entire cast is brought to you by malice-corp.com. If you want to enjoy the podcast anywhere, head over to malice-corp.com or anywhere that you can listen to podcasts. Make sure that you subscribe when you're there and you leave comments and you leave reviews and let us know what you think about the show. And while you're at it, head on over to YouTube as well at the Malice Corp channel and check out other stuff that we have over there, including San Diego Comic-Con panels, so that you can be in the know of what happened at this year's San Diego Comic-Con and not feel like you got left out. Masonic Vader's here on the cast. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, sir. Ready to get my geek on and enjoy my new Goonie shirt. Let's do this.
And if you ever wonder, how do I get on the podcast? How can I come and join and talk? All you gotta do is just subscribe to the channel. That's how Masonic gets here every week. You know, he makes us feel guilty that he's actually helping support the channel, and so
We never actually invite him to these things. He just shows up.
No, actually, I thought he was going off on the tangent where if you ever want to show up, all you got to do is start contributing, and then they pull you from the chat room, and there you go.
There's a difference. There's a difference between contributing and hitting up in the chat room. Hey, when can I come on? When can I be a part of it? Which we're glad you did, because we got to have you be a part of the show.
I thought you were going to go with there's a difference between contributing and what you do.
No. Masonic Vader does definitely contribute. In fact, he contributes with an entire show about wrestling that will be coming back very soon. So you guys stay tuned for that as well.
But buying your way in does work too if you want to send us good mics or any kind of audio equipment.
I already did a couple Guff memberships last month, so yeah.
Yeah, if you join the chat room, you may get a gift subscription just because he sees your name and he's like, I'm going to send a gift to this person. So...
Yeah, Red Meat Pie. I hope he shows up. You know, I did get them one.
Red Meat Pie. She. Yeah.
I need to have more of my beverage. Sorry.
Okay, now we're going off on tangent. Let's talk about who else is here on the cast. We have Icy Zorro on the cast with us as well. How are you, sir?
It's sick. It's not good. I'm gonna blow my nose consistently throughout the podcast. Ugh. Other than that, I'll sound just as great as ever.
Ugh. Delicious.
That was fake. Trying to get himself.
He's like, I don't want to work
but now it's real.
No, it's going to be like, I don't want to work this weekend. All you guys got to do is check out my podcast. I said I was sick on there. That's why I couldn't come in.
I totally want to work. I love working weekends. It's great.
He's playing the long game. Aaron also joins us on the cast. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm great. That's the first person to ask me. Thanks. Thank you.
Hey, well,
appreciate that.
It's AA Ron and about 90% of his head.
Well, that's why I bring Aaron, because he's the one that actually cares. He's like, Mass, how are you doing? I know you do all this work for this thing, and then, you know, everybody else is just like, yay, I'm on. No.
Wow, dude, bye.
No. I'm kidding.
There he goes. He's gone.
I'm just waiting. Here it comes. It's coming back. There he is. Okay. Super Hoovy and Freak joins us on the cast as well. How are you?
Good. Definitely good. It's been a very, very, very busy week this week. But trying to balance out work and the Gishwas and still trying to catch up with sleep from Comic-Con. So
never.
It's been intense.
And there is our subdued member of the cast. We have our sick member and our subdued. Beacon joins in and also joins in with a subscription. Thank you so much, Beacon, for supporting the channel, and thank you for being here. Hopefully, you have some insight on some of the stuff that we talk about tonight. So we always start this cast out with what everybody's been geeking out on.
Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
So this is where we talk about what we've been doing for the last week, things that you should be checking out, things you should be streaming, if there's any like video games or books or any of that type of stuff that you should be checking out. Let us know in the chat room as well, or in the comments, what we should be checking out so we can talk about it later and interact or react to it and everything like that. My entire Geek Out has still been Comic-Con because it was just getting all the panels up over at the YouTube channel for Malice Corp. So head on over there and check out anything that was pretty much played in Hall H. You can see the whole panel over there. Now, I say you can see it, but it's going to be some shaky cam at times. In fact, there's one video, the Marvel video, to show people, because I get these responses every time these panels go up. Why didn't you show this footage? Why didn't you do this? There's things you aren't supposed to record at the panels, and I left this portion in the panel just because I usually cut it out. It's a guy coming up to me and going, "No live streaming, no recording," and me going, "I'm not live streaming." And he's like, "I see a red light. Red light means recording." And I'm like, "Yeah, we can record the panel. We can't." He's like, no live streaming, no recording. And I was like, "What about all the people up there?" And I'm like, "Give me a supervisor."
But that would have been fascinating video to watch.
I left that portion in there so that people can understand I go through this every year of some moron that doesn't know what's allowed to be recorded and what's not, and comes and tries to shut me down and stop me from doing it, and it's a pain in the butt. So
Are they still using elite security in San Diego, the guys with the red t-shirts?
for outside, yeah. So
Yeah, because all that takes is, like, you know, if you can fill out an application, you can be elite security.
yeah, exactly. But that's just me. Let's talk about what you guys have been geeking out on. Hey, Ron, what you been up to? Because we haven't seen you in a while.
Oh man. So let me tell you guys, you have Amazon Prime. Please, for the love of God, go watch The Boys. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's a subverted take on the superhero genre. It's amazing. Carl Urban is one of the most underrated actors I've ever seen. He deserved all the acclaim for freaking Dredd. He deserved all the acclaim for playing Bones the proper way in Star Trek. But in this, he is just the most angry British man you've ever seen, and it is amazing. It is just brilliant. The storyline is great. The casting is excellent for the rest of them.
Is he angrier than Jason Statham in Crank?
You would, dude, believe me. Believe me, not only more angry, but so much more hair. Oh my God. On top of the head, on the chin, just, it's bonkers. His beard is glorious. Yes, so I have been geeking out on that. I watched it last week, and I'm riding the high from it because it's that good. It's amazing.
I think we have Aaron's choice for Epic Beardo for next year already.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. Mwah.
and Polyfuse joins us in the chat as well with a fantastic, "Can you count to potato? Do you have a pulse? Come be security for Nerdfest." Yeah,
Pretty much.
You have opposable thumbs. You're hired.
Just one? Good enough.
Exactly. Icy Zoro, what have you been geeking out on?
A couple of things. One, I binged through both seasons of Barry. Holy crap, that's a good show. Bill
That's so
Hader
great.
is impressive. If you like making fun of Hollywood actor culture, it's fantastic. But if you just want a funny, like, hitman trying to be a normal guy show, it's amazing. Also, a guy that's been in the show the whole time is the guy that played Victor Zsasz in Gotham, and he's
great.
Friggin' great. I love that actor so much. He plays this kind of slightly effeminate Chechnyan mobster guy that doesn't really want. He's amazing. And then also, I started about a week ago rereading through The Wheel of Time, and I'm currently about to finish book 3, Dragon
nice.
Reaper.
That's a good fast pace on those books.
Yeah, I love them so much.
Nice. Or is it the fact that I recall everything described on this page, so I'm going to skip these 3-4 pages?
You know what? I have actually found myself skipping little pages, or not pages, but paragraphs of like descriptors where it's like, oh, they found the city of Camelin and the walls were shining. I'm like, yeah, I know all this part. Get to the action.
Wheel of Time abridged.
Yeah. Wheel of Time clip notes.
Masonic
There's a city,
Vader.
there's fight.
Masonic Vader, what have you been geeking out on?
Oh, well, a couple cool things. First of all, Hobbs and Shaw came out last night, and I saw it this morning at 10 a.m. For everyone who likes Jason Statham and The Rock, go see this. Hell, just watch it anyways. It's a hilarious movie.
You've pretty much
It's,
described 100% of the world between those two guys. At some point, you're going to have somebody liking The Rock or Statham. It's going to be impossible
If you
to
have
find somebody who
seen
doesn't like
moving
one of those two.
pictures,
Yeah, it's safe to say I have a slight man crush on Statham in the movies when it comes to that. I even have his hairdo. It's awesome.
oh, so it's a tribute. That was it.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. The other thing I was geeking out with, and I mentioned this earlier, is I don't know if you know this. If you have a Regal Cinema close to you, Regal Cinema has actually just unloaded a new monthly ticket. It's called Regal Unlimited, I think it is. And what it allows you to do is you pay a monthly amount and you can go to as many movies and see as many movies as you want for one price a month. You can't do overlapping. It's just yourself. The movie theater close to me was like $23.99. And yeah, I went and saw Hobbs Shaw this morning. I go tomorrow and see it. Anything 2D is included. You pay like a convenience fee if you do it on the app. And if you upgrade to do 3D, you just pay the difference. And I'm stoked. So what these guys did last year with the Quest for 100, I could pull it off now at Regal.
Not a paid advertisement, endorsement, or sponsor.
No, yeah, not our sponsor, but they should be.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, in terms of the Fast and Furious universe, how does it hold up?
You know what made that? You know what? It's cool because it's separated from it. The reason why it's Fast and Furious because of Hobbs, pretty much, Dwayne Johnson's character. However, I'm going to tell you what made that movie was Idris Elba. That dude is badass, and I mean, he even rapped the freaking song for that dang movie. I saw in the credits and everything. If you go see the movie, yeah, if you see the movie, there are credit scenes at the beginning, middle, and end. I did not know this, but also Ryan Reynolds is in it as well. Oh. And that right there was just sidekick relief right there.
So is that your 1% to get the people that don't like either Statham or Rock? Because Ruru 2 says he doesn't like them, that Jackie Chan can kick both their asses, and I love Jackie Chan. And Polyfuse chimed in with Bruce Leroy will kick all of their asses.
Well, Bruce Leroy, man, the Last Dragon, dude, he can catch a bullet with his teeth. I mean, that's impressive. But I will tell you, go see the movie. It is a great movie. I'm sure they'll probably do more from it because the comedic timing and the action, it was awesome. The fight scene at the end was great. You'll enjoy the movie. You really will.
And then Beacon is challenging you to watch 100 movies in a year in the movie theater because he said you can try.
Okay, well today is the 2nd of August. I have until the 2nd of August of next year to go through 100. That is one, sir.
There you go. Keep us up to date. We'll see if you can do it.
You should do like a podcast about that.
You know what? There used to be a podcast. I should probably see if those guys still want to do it.
It was a great podcast.
I didn't realize we had homework, man, because I've already seen 100 this year.
At the movie theaters, buddy, not at home.
Oh, yeah. At the theater.
I believe, yeah.
He goes.
And no repeat movies.
No repeats.
Okay, are you homeless living in a theater?
It's 102 if you count freaking Endgame twice or 3 times.
Well, you'd only count it once. I don't think you can count the re-release of it. I think that would be
I didn't even see the re-release.
Okay, super. What have you been geeking out
on? This is the week of my annual charity scavenger hunt, so I've been doing that all week. Very little sleep and lots of photoshopping, lots of doing really weird stuff, lots of doing good stuff for some charities. So that's what I've been doing this week.
Nice.
In fact, I just got finished a little bit ago transforming myself into a superhero through Photoshop, not in real life.
And your superhero was?
I took a druid from the internet. So I found a really good picture of a druid with a huge like spirit bear coming out from behind it, battling. So basically it's like a World of Warcraft theme, because they just had some really awesome pictures and blended them all together, and it looks really cool. I'll share it with you guys after the hunt's over, and you can see what I did with it next week. But it was like, take a special skill about yourself. The only thing I could think of, I was like, well, animals like really seem to like me, and you can twist that to having not like control over them, but you can like, and battle the forces of evil that way. So it was fun.
You could throw in there, you battle the forces of evil in the Hall H line.
I know, right? Yeah.
And
no, what about security?
Yeah, exactly.
Show enough.
Okay, and before we move on to the next segment, so that's what we've been geeking out on, I want to say hello to Commander Root, FreddyBot, Pedopolis, VNK, Virgo Pros, and Windsock for all joining us in the watch as well. Chime in if you guys have any thoughts about the stuff that we're talking about on the cast, because you do make this show, and your thoughts do make it onto the actual podcast portion of it when you listen to it elsewhere. So yeah, that's what we've been geeking out on. Let's move on to the new segment.
In a city, in a town, in a world, they thought they had it all figured out. But there was one thing they didn't plan on.
Masonic Vader always drops trailers for us like crazy, so I figure we just have to make a segment for it instead of putting it as part of the nerd news. So this is trailers of the week. Figured out what
I don't have any theme music for that.
No,
yet,
it's
dude.
going to probably be like
brand new on me.
1, 2, 3 action or something.
Yeah, we should call this segment "In a World."
That's not bad. In a world, I like that too. Yeah, we can go that way. We'll figure it out. I don't know. But yeah. First trailer we're going to be talking about today, because there was an abundance of trailers that came out this week, and that's why we're focusing on them, just to give our thoughts and reactions. The first one was a prequel to the Kingsmen series. There's the Kingsman now, and they gave us the trailer for the prequel, and as we always start, we like to start with Super giving us her reaction of what the whole trailer was about, what she thought.
Well, first off, I couldn't get any video to frickin' load anywhere, either on the computer or my phone. So literally, I was watching a video about this big. So I saw nothing
And she
except
thought everybody was Hugh Jackman.
No, I literally think, I'm pretty sure I saw a soldier. I'm pretty sure I saw a helmet somewhere in there, and I think the helmet and the soldier at one point fell over from a gunshot.
That could have happened.
Yeah.
There you go.
Then let me summarize it for you. Voldemort in World War I, Voldemort teaches a young man how to kick ass and take an inseam measurement.
Hilarious.
Yes. Plus there's Gemma Arterton, which is like, I'll go see a movie, I don't care how badly it is, just for her. So.
And then The Rock came in.
What'd you guys think of the trailer?
I liked it. I like the fact that they're going to be able to salvage the. I don't want to say salvage. Let me. I guess restart it or reboot it or tell a different story about how it got formed. I think it's a great way to kind of establish it, to go back and tell a story without wasting a movie explaining it. Yeah,
and I think it's also a genius way to take to further the lore and the marketing for the series as a whole, considering Taron Egerton is not coming back for another movie, at least in the near future. So that's a good way to take it, and I think they got a brilliant cast. I mean, just a couple of people. You got Voldemort, of course, Ralph Fiennes, but you also got Digimon Hansu,
who's in everything.
Digimon is fantastic. Yeah.
Charles Dance is going to be in it, so we get to see Taiwan come back.
Aaron Taylor Thomas is in it.
Aaron Taylor Thomas too. Yes, so they've got a really good cast, and they've got really good visuals, and a pretty decent story. I mean, taking it all the way back to World War One is a
Yeah.
That's a time period that people don't really talk about very much. Most of the time, it goes to World War II, or it goes all the way back to the Revolution.
Yeah.
And
Well, as soon as I saw somebody throwing a stick grenade into a street and blowing up an open top old ass car, I was like, oh, it's the start of World War One. Cool.
Exactly. So yeah, I think it's a good time period. I think it's a good cast, and I think it's going to be a fun movie.
And I did some double checking on the dates because clearly the main bad guy is going to be Rasputin, right?
That's what I was wondering. Okay, was that Rasputin? Because that's
yes.
Okay.
And Rasputin officially died in 1918, so this totally works.
Yes.
You mean Hellboy's not going to show up? And
I certainly hope
say
not.
officially died. You know,
Wait,
we're still not sure.
Wait, hold on. Are we talking about this Hellboy this year, or are we getting Perlman back? Because
I don't even know a Hellboy this year. There is no Hellboy this year.
Just saying.
Poor David Harbour. No, I think it looks really cool, and I don't know how you guys felt about the second one, but I have been really entertained by both Kingsman films so far. So as long as they keep the fun, awesome action scenes, then I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay, you said a key word in there, and that's what this trailer looked like to me, and it still looks like a fantastic film to me. But you said the fun. This looks like a huge differential from the first two Kingsmen, where it was a lot of the fun kind of going on, jokative. This looks a lot more serious. I mean, it's still kick-ass scene type of stuff, but it doesn't look like they're going to be doing the as jokative.
I feel like the whole trailer got a little more of a serious feel just from Ralph Fiennes' face. Like, take if you put somebody else's face there, the whole thing's still fun.
Yeah, he is a serious dude. But taking it back to World War One, I mean, we have the time periods that they've set in modern times for the first two movies. So I think that has a much lighter tone to it than World War One would. So it matches, and I'm hoping that they still throw at least some darker humor into it. Maybe not necessarily keeping it lighter, but keeping it still funny, still relatable. But throwing the grit in there too is good for me.
As long as they keep it as the franchise, the action franchise that made Samuel L. Jackson a tech billionaire evil mogul with a lisp, and I'm good.
Couple comments from the chat room. Polyfuse says they had to do a prequel because it's not like there was a badass spy series started in the 60s that had Sean Connery in it. Minnie Penny. And Ruitu says David Harbour will be fine. It's not like Hellboy gave Ron Perlman a better career. True on that. And Harbour's going to be in a little tiny film from MCU called
nothing major. No, it's nothing.
Black Widow. It's nothing.
And it's not like he's playing like a really big name.
Yeah, he's like the bodyguard or something. Bodyguard number 2, right?
No, he's just security. He's got the red shirt.
Did you have any quick thoughts on the trailer, Masonic?
No, like I mentioned earlier, I saw the trailer. I'm excited. I kind of like the fact that they are going back to World War One to start everything off, and to maybe get away from, like, the comedy part of it was great, but sometimes it got a little campy. With such a serious kind of thing going on, it would be nice to go back and watch a serious part of this movie to really see them, like, not just kick ass, but really seriously, like, kick ass, and not have any comedy to go with it as well. And I think World War One is a good setting to do so, because no one wants to make comedy out of war. I mean, I don't think I can remember one movie. Well, okay, wait, no, let me rephrase it. Let's just say no one doesn't like
1948.
Yeah, 1942. Yeah, it'll be nice. It'll be a good movie.
Okay. Let's move on to the next trailer. Having to do with the man theme, let's just stay with another man, and that's the Irishman. We got excited about this when we first announced it because it's Scorsese doing a new film with De Niro, Pacino, and Joe Pesci, which was huge news on that factor.
I feel like I've seen that movie before.
Well, have you? What was the other movie that all three of them were in?
All three of them haven't been in the same.
No, they haven't.
De Niro,
Pacino, and Heat.
Pacino.
Yeah.
And De Niro,
and Goodfellas.
And De Niro and Pacino were in
Heat.
Heat.
Mm-hmm.
So we've already seen that those two. I mean, De Niro can work with both of them, and Pacino can work with De Niro, and Pesci works with everyone. So, I mean, the pedigree.
Except Billy Batts, yeah.
I know.
Well,
So
let's start off with the fact that we haven't seen Pesci in how long now?
That's the
And
big.
that you're-
Okay, that was where I was getting to with the big news. Pesci officially 100% retired from acting altogether. So the factor, this is him coming out of retirement to do a film for, of course, Scorsese, who's a good friend of his. I mean, why not? So
Why not? No. When Scorsese calls you, whether you're his friend or not, and says, "I want to put you in a freaking gangster movie," you do it, regardless of how long you've been retired.
I want to put you in a gangster movie with, and then name off the two guys. Be like, here you go. Yeah, I'm out of retirement.
Man.
And we're going to make you look younger.
Yeah.
So,
It's always nice.
Super. Tell us about the trailer.
So for Irishman,
Mm-hmm.
So that big of a screen.
Yeah, no. This one I was able to get loaded on a regular screen. It was fine. My first thought was Gangsters Assemble. 2, who said the Avengers was the the ultimate mashup of movies? You get Martin Scorsese coming in going, hold my cannoli. Here you go. I think it looks good. I think it looks awesome. I love all three of them. And has to be a killer movie because wasn't Joe Pesci in retirement?
Yes, he was.
So to bust him out, sorry, you're cutting in
You're
and
fine.
out
No,
a
you're
little
fine.
bit.
You're fine.
So, okay. So busting him out of retirement is amazing, and I'm excited.
Nice.
Now I want to see that classic Avengers shot where they're all in the Battle of New York with the swirling camera, but with Pacino, De Niro, and Pesci, and De Niro's got like a cane, and Pesci's got a walker with tennis balls. Yeah,
we need
amazing.
We need a Ray Liotta in there somewhere talking about how he quit smoking.
and Pacino's still got the big blind person glasses from Scent of a Woman. That'd be amazing.
Yes.
There's an ongoing theme between these two trailers, and it's rings on your finger because you got the Kingsman ring, and then there's the whole thing about like only 2 people have this ring, or only 3 people in existence have this ring, and only one of them's an Irishman.
Yeah, and only one of them's named John. So what?
Peteopolis says, "Gangsters of the Galaxy."
But yeah, it's Pacino's playing Jimmy Hoffa. I wonder if they're going to that's where he's actually buried.
Rurutu says, "I think this type of movie died out in the 90s. Yeah, but I mean, once again, it's the names that you're throwing together. This is Netflix going 100% bid at best picture nod.
I can say it didn't necessarily die out because you look at The Departed. I mean, but what it did was a lot of the big name directors started steering away from that towards different kinds of projects. But for Scorsese, the gangster film is in his blood. I mean, he knows that genre in and out. And so
it's the only thing he can do properly. Have you seen Silence? That movie is terrible.
Some people have their niche. I understand.
Oof.
But when he's that good at what he does, it really doesn't matter how bad his other films are because everyone's going to come back to the good stuff that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Having those 3 plus, I mean, they've got other. I mean, Anna Paquin's going to be in it. They've got a great supporting cast. Anna Paquin, Harvey Keitel's in it. I mean, Ray Romano. They've got great support.
Hey, Jimmy Hoffa.
Great. I mean, great timeline. I mean, throwing it around in the time of Hoffa and the Kennedy assassination and all the Teamsters and all the mob bullshit that went on back there. It's going to be a really intense film, and it's going to be really, really well acted and really, really well directed. And I can't wait for it.
Awesome. I'm in the same boat. I've been waiting for this for a year since they announced that they were going to be doing this, so I'm excited that it's right around the corner because it's the nostalgia in me. So
Definitely.
Back to
I was gonna say I would not see it in the theaters, but then it popped up saying it was Netflix, and I was like, yeah, I'll watch it on Netflix, sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Didn't realize there was more than. I'm like, wait, there's more. Rurutu asked what was the Johnny Depp gangster movie, and like my thought went to the one where he plays John Dillinger, which I thought was really boring, and I couldn't stand it. And then I forgot there's Black Mass, which they brought up, and
Black Mass. Yeah.
people didn't flock to see it, as he's asking, but they did definitely have high critical acclaim for it. But then I also forgot the one with he did with Al Pacino.
Yeah, Donnie Brasco.
Yeah. So
Mr.
I love that
Fugazi.
movie. I love that movie. So
That when I was working at Hollywood Video in high school, that we watched the trailer for that thing 130,000 times.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wow.
It was a fake.
yeah. So let's move on to a different aspect
I
of.
want to throw one in there
Go
really
on,
quick. Ready to get the
speak up, man.
Thomas in there,
Speak
man.
up.
Well, you're directing, right? You're I'm excited to see the movie only because you have this talent. I mean, it's a once in a lifetime kind of thing now at this point because these guys, like I said, we broke Pesci's coming out of retirement to do the movie. We didn't think we'd get something like this, so you're going to get these guys working together. Harvey Keitel, throwing him in there is another great name to throw in there with that. I'm interested into it because it's especially because I heard about it, but then watching the trailer to throw in the JFK assassination with this is a part of it that for people like myself, who I'm a history fan and I've looked in and studied and did papers and speeches and whatever in college on the JFK assassination. This is one part of the assassination that really hasn't been touched as much, like in movies or
mob involvement.
Yeah, the mob involvement's been talked about, but it hasn't been centered on. A lot of times it goes into the Lee Harvey Oswald aspect of it, the whole everything, the whole like defecting kind of thing. Mob's talked about only to a point where you get to and unfortunately escape my name right now, but the guy who kills Lee Harvey Oswald and everything. That's where the mob gets
Jack
tied
Ruby.
in with. Thank you, Jack Ruby. When it's all said and done, is his mob ties. But outside of that, Alpha, the mob as a whole, and how they're going to throw it in there to have a whole movie dedicated to that. That'll be very interesting to see how they'll be able to put that all together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are implementing the whole Jimmy Hoffa thing and everything. So, Pedopoulos says, Masonic Vader, leave the opinion, take the cannoli. So
Hi,
right.
Pete. How you doing?
Let's move on to the next trailer. Little Monsters. No, not Little Monsters with Fred Savage and Howie Mandel. This is
I
a new
love
movie.
that movie.
Thank God, no. I
That
don't-
was legit one of my favorite movies in the 90s. I wore out the VHS tape. I love that movie.
Wow.
Dude,
You're
peanut butter and
yeah.
peanut butter and onion sandwich. I still don't understand that. But the baseball cards things. Need 'em, got 'em, need 'em, got 'em. It's hilarious. Probably doesn't
wow.
have the
So
whole episode
Rue
now,
2
huh?
brings up screenplay, and I think this is for The Irishman.
For
by
Irishman,
Steven Zellian. He wrote Schindler's List, Hannibal, Mission Impossible, Searching for Bobby Fischer, American Gangster, Moneyball. So he's more excited for this writer than all those actors, which that's an awesome.
That is a solid credits list.
And Pecan says Little Monsters was the first movie he saw in the theaters. So that started his epic quest for 100.
Fred Savage has touched all of our lives in so many ways.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now we're getting the list of everybody's first movies. Mine was Popeye, Masonic Vader.
Cheers.
R.I.P.
There you go.
Robin.
I don't even remember what my first movie was that I saw in the theaters.
Return of the Jedi.
Mine is either, Return of the Jedi is the first one I remember seeing, but mine might have been The Little Mermaid.
I swear I went to Star Wars, but unfortunately I was only 2 years old, and so yeah.
No, I was only 3 for Return of the Jedi.
Polyfuse makes a really good point. He says the attention span of movie watchers today is crap. I tell you, if they made Godfather today, people would bitch it's slow and drags on, which is funny because that's what's going on with that's what's going on with the It sequel right now. Is everybody's like complaining about what the length time of it's going to be. It's almost 3 hours, and
Who doesn't want to stare at Isaiah Mustafa for that long?
Stop it. People just got done watching Endgame. In fact, some people watched it 3 or 4 times, like myself. Yeah, it's you just got to present a product that's worthy of your 3 hours. How many times have you gone to see a movie that you get about 30 minutes in, you walk out? It's not that their attention span's not there. It's just the product that they've put in front of you is shit.
Well, it's also the factor that a movie that's 3 hours turns into a movie that's almost 3 hours and 45 minutes because of all the trailers and commercials that go on before.
Oh my god! Get rid of the trailers and commercials because that's 20 minutes of my life I want back.
Yeah.
So it's timed to 20 minutes. It's almost exact. It's from show start is when the trailers finish.
Yeah. All right. So Little Monsters is a comedy about zombies, and Lupita Nyong'o is basically a camp counselor, I guess, with little kids, and they're
Yeah.
trying to make zombies being around them fun. And
Yeah, it's like a class of kindergartners going through a wild animal park or something.
Yeah, they're on a safari, I guess, or something like.
Yeah, it
something.
looks like the zombie apocalypse is just starting.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
starting to lead over into reality. And I'll tell you what, of all the people that I never thought I would see in a dark comedy like this and really, really, really love, Josh Gad
I think Josh Gad fits this
Oh,
perfectly.
on the floor laughing.
Josh Gad is
Oh my god,
perfect for dark comedy.
I think
no,
he's,
I'm not saying that he's not. I'm just saying that from the experiences that I have with him, I see him as
because he
more of a
was
lighthearted-
Disney-fied, is what you're talking
He's
about.
well, he's Disney-fied too, but I see what because when I watch him in his interviews and things like that, and see him performing in non-movie roles, he's the most charismatic, bubbly, energetic, happy person. And seeing
Which is
him-
why he was so good in Book of Mormon.
I know. Oh yes. And
Hello,
seeing him
my name is
twist
Elvis Price.
into this self-serving, scared but still hilarious human being is, oh man, I was dying. I was in tears. I can't wait just to see that portion of it. I could give a shit less.
Did you ever see his show with Billy Crystal? It was like half a season on FX, and it was
No,
decent.
no, I missed that.
Yeah,
Ruru 2
it
says
was-
he's Jack Black 2.0.
I think he's a
I'll go
lot
with
funnier
that.
than Jack Black.
What did you guys think on the trailer aspect of the film? I mean, it's a different spin for sure on zombies.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to say I like the spin. I like that. You know, it's you've got the zombie apocalypse happening, and it's around a bunch of kids, and they're trying to keep the kids like. I kind of appreciate a sense because I'm getting back into teaching and everything that you kind of appreciate that snark.
Do we lose Vader? He went frozen, and then
Yeah, he's going Negatron. It's trying too hard to be Zombieland.
I
Right,
don't know. I didn't get a lot of
even down to people crashing through the credits on the screen.
I didn't get as many Zombieland vibes as I did Shaun of the Dead vibes, which honestly, either of those, getting vibes of either of those in a modern zombie movie isn't that bad a thing. And I think that the direction that they're taking it by involving mostly children that are going through this is going to be really entertaining to see what they do with it.
Yeah, and who was that blonde guy? Was that yet another Hemsworth brother?
Oh no,
No.
I don't remember. Who that was.
Looked like a cross between the Hemsworth brothers and Wyatt Russell.
Let's see.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm trying to
I don't
look.
know.
But
It looks
I'm
fun to me. I love the
looking.
factor of like fast zombies or slow zombies, and they're like slow zombies. Well, thank God it's slow. I like the writing going on with it. So
Looks like that is a man called it's Alexander England.
Alexander England. Yeah.
Alexander England.
Alien Covenant of Alien Covenant fame.
I don't know. I'm
Alien Covenant infamy, more like.
sure. I'm glad Lupita Nyong'o is getting work. She's a fantastically talented actress. I think Josh Gad fit great in, being the selfish dark comedy guy. I think that's great. I don't know. Felt like kind of a ripoff to me.
I'm back.
He's
I think
back.
it'll be
Yay!
don't eat a jam sandwich served by Lupita Nyong'o.
Nope.
I want to know what's going on with. Did Josh Gad just get bit by a zombie in that trailer, and that's why he's biting? Because he's like, "How do you like it?" He's like, "What would I
think
just do?"
so. Or at least he's seen enough people get bit to want to bite one back.
Yeah, I thought he saw his zombie baby and was like, "Here, I can take out my anger on this."
I don't know. We'll find out as we see it, because I'll end up seeing it. So, all right. Staying on the zombie front, our last little teaser, but not going out of the norm. I just want to get your guys' reactions because we got the teaser trailer for the next Walking Dead spinoff. It was a total of like 30 seconds long, and it's just a couple of the cast members talking about living safely and what's been, there's been a story being set up since the beginning of The Walking Dead. That's not The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. So
Well, the vibe that I got from it wasn't necessarily that there's been a story that's being set up. thousands of stories happening simultaneously because the zombies are everywhere. So my unpopular opinion is that The Walking Dead ran out of freaking good ideas a long time ago with this cast of characters that they have. And I think it's about time that...
No, that actually is a very popular opinion.
Okay, good. Well, then it's
as of the last season and a half that they finally fixed it. And that was the thing, is people haven't come back because the popular opinion was the show is dead, it's dying, and it's time to move on. And then they figured out how to fix it.
Yeah, there's only so many developments that you can do with a set cast of characters before it becomes redundant. You can only have so many people change so many times before they start going, okay, you're starting to reach. So for them to take the name and keep going with it, I think that's a good idea. I think making a name out of something as big as the Walking Dead and changing it and evolving it, that's great. So I'm almost excited. I mean, I got a very bad taste in my mouth after watching as many seasons of it as I did in such a short period of time. So yeah, seeing something like this come up and seeing a new story that they want to talk about and seeing more characters, a different setting and a different group of people.
Well, it's a completely different setting, because what's been noticed to us so far is that this takes place within a society where these people don't even know about zombies. They don't realize anymore.
Or they know they're there, but they have been behind walls the whole time. Haven't had to actually really deal with them.
You know, I saw it. I saw you post it, and I saw it, and it almost as appropriate where a phrase came up about something about beating a dead horse or something. It's seriously,
as long as money is made, they'll keep doing it. But yeah, I just wanted to know what your guys' thoughts were on how they did this one. Did it get you, or does it no?
Well, kind of, yes. But at first I was confused because I thought you were sending me like a video to raise money for like victims of war. And I was
that's exactly what I was waiting for, somebody to bring that up. That's what,
And then I was like, and then I watched it again and I'm like, no, those are actually zombies, I think, in the background, walkers. But it seriously came across. I was just waiting for Sarah McLachlan to like bust out with a really sad song.
I will remember.
In the arms of the zombie.
But I do agree that we need to change it up. I'm almost ready for the main show. As much as I love Jeffrey Dean Morgan, I'm almost ready for the main show to kind of end. And just have some
here's the thing with the main show. I think even if the show gets absolutely god awful horrible, they're going to continue it just to get that record from Supernatural. I guarantee Walking Dead will do that.
As you know, Mess and I have been casting both the main show and Fear for the last couple of years, and the main show is as good as it has ever been right now. It is fantastic right now, and Fear is better than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, I haven't seen it for a while, but let me think for a second. People are moving from place to place trying to survive. And they're killing zombies, and people are turning on each other.
Well, the turning on each other always happens. That's just
but there you go. That's the
you got the first one wrong.
Yeah, they're not moving from place to place to survive anymore. It's a different whole thing. But Simpsons has the record for animated show on the air, but we're talking sci-fi genre show. Right now, Supernatural has that with 15 seasons coming up this year. Walking Dead is at 10 seasons. So Scott M. Gimble is not planning on canceling that show anytime soon. So
they're printing money still.
Yeah.
Do you really think that it'll go 5 more seasons though?
Yes. At this point, I think they're going to just run it into the ground until there's nobody watching it, and then that's when they'll actually cancel it. I really do. I didn't think it was going to. But with the new showrunners, they have done a big turnaround on it. So
but the cast doesn't deserve that to be run into the ground like that. And I've been.
It's all new cast.
The cast gets out whenever they're tired.
It's all new cast. Andy's left because Andrew's doing the movies. And Michonne just announced that she's leaving. So
she's currently the senior person.
It's essentially a new cast.
That's not the same show. Then it should be, it's the same name, but it's a different show.
Yeah, I get that. I get that aspect of it. But But yeah, that was it on the.
But that's like saying the Diane years of Cheers are a different show from the Kirstie Alley years of Cheers.
They kind of are.
It is.
They are.
It's a different dynamic.
But it's still Cheers.
So Beacon says, "Stop while you're having a great thing. Tell stories. Don't sell stories." That's not Hollywood. Hollywood doesn't know what you're talking about.
That's not how corporate television works.
Yeah, that's true. But Walking Dead doesn't do 22 episode seasons, so are we basing on episodes or seasons? I think they based it on seasons, didn't they?
Yeah,
for
seasons. It's never been the number of episodes.
Yeah, so
It's a big difference. Yeah.
I don't know. Both shows are great. So, and both shows have had their ups and downs for sure. So, anything that's on that long, definitely. And I think Supernatural is going to go out big and on top with their next season. I really do. I think they're after going to the panel at Comic-Con, I think they're going to pull out all the stops. And
I think they're finally just going to bite the bullet and end the friggin' world already.
No, it's going to be at the very end. It's going to be God on a typewriter writing the end, and that's going to be the end of the story, and it's going to piss off all the fans.
I think they're going to pull and do a new God, and it's going to be Jack. He's going to, not to go like Luke Skywalker, but he's kind of going to restore the balance between heaven, hell, earth, and he's going to ascend back up to heaven.
And then J.J. Abrams is going to come in and restart a new series.
He can write the movie that they want to do in a couple years, because the cast has talked about already coming back to do a movie in a couple years.
They better.
Yeah. Okay, so let's.
It's not the end. They're gonna pull a Psych, basically, is what they're gonna do.
It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Let's move on. That's our trailer talk. That's the trailer of the week, or in a world, or whatever, what you guys want to.
In a world.
Whatever you want to call it. Let's move on to. This is gonna go long. Into the nerd news. First aspect of the nerd news. Big one. It was a rumor. It's still technically a rumor. It hasn't been officialized. It hasn't been said that this is for sure confirmed. But it's come from sources that what they said before all worked out. Black Panther 2 is in pre-production. And so far, we apparently have our villain for Black Panther 2. And that is going to be Namor. Thoughts?
Yay.
I like it. I mean, They set it up. They already threw the Easter egg in there in Endgame with Okoye talking about the earthquake underwater that Wakanda sensed, and it's been set up. And Namor and Black Panther. They, if you read the comic books, they have some pretty big fights.
Mm-hmm.
And
they could bring Jason Momoa in for that.
What's that?
No, it's not Aquaman.
Nah, I think it's going to be fun. I think that they could do a lot having a war, or at least the beginnings of a war between Wakanda and Atlantis. And it'd be, I think it could be as big a fight as the what they set up in the Endgame. I don't know if they'll go that far into it, or if it'll just be a battle between the kings. But it's got a lot of promise, having him as the villain.
I hope that with this next evolution of Marvel, that they could try to hold on, especially because of the way that they've been able to successfully fuse all these movies together. I'm hoping that they can actually hold on to some of these bad guys and do a team up, kind of like how they're alluding to with Spider-Man and possibly having the Sinister Six and whatnot, because Namor is not the type of guy who gets one movie and be done.
They're setting up. They'll set up for a Namor series to happen.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, as they're fusing these all together, and as they get to the next Avengers movie, that they potentially start considering going Avengers versus multiple bad guys, not just one guy in his army or something like that, because that's what they've the last two big battles have been Loki, and then you had Thanos. So I'm hoping that they can do multiple bad guys this time to go further into this the craziness that is the Marvel
Perhaps
MCU.
Doctor Doom.
Hey, just saying.
I'm sure, yeah. So that's I've already said this is what's going to happen with Namor. This is how Namor is going to get defeated by the Black Panther. He's going to see a blonde in a tight body blue suit and get distracted, and there's your introduction to the Fantastic Four. So,
That'll be
That would be great.
It'll be also interesting to see Wakanda water technology. We've seen everything they do around
sure,
the city.
he's going to
like
make
that.
something amazing. You know that.
Yeah. It'll be cool.
So Ruatu brings up, who can play Namor? Do you guys have any ideas of who should play him?
I already said Agent Smith.
You're just saying that because of his eyebrows.
Yeah, and his hairline. Yeah.
And his
You
hairline.
look at that
Go
comic book
weaving?
character when it was originally introduced in like the 20s, and it was the stereotypical like Charles Atlas bodybuilder guy, but with the vicious like super severe 20s haircut.
True.
Yeah, Agent Smith.
So while I was looking into this, I saw a Photoshop photo, and I was like, "Holy crap, I want it!" And I told it to people, and they're like, "He's too old," and I'm like, "Screw the ageism factor," because they just cast Angelina Jolie and Selma Hayek as main characters in Eternals. So
That is true.
Keanu
Which
Reeves,
they defy
man,
aging anyway. So
put Keanu in this role.
As Namor?
Yeah, I saw a Photoshop picture of him, and I'm like, that looks pretty bad. He looks. I would take it with the John Wick look to him.
Johnny Utah under the water. Yeah,
It could work. It could work.
Point Break.
Yeah, it's a sequel to Point Break. Yeah.
I think somebody. I think I prefer him to play a different role than Namor.
I think Namor, the kind of guy you got to cast for Namor, and I don't have any names off the top of my head, but it's got to be a serious, no comedy. He's just serious role. That's
Wait,
what
are you
I've
saying
always
that Keanu
remembered
Reeves
about
can't
him.
act? Bite your tongue.
No, I'm not saying he can't act. I'm not.
No,
saying
he's
that
saying
at
it
all.
should be Daniel Day-Lewis.
No.
I would not put Keanu in that role though. I would use it
Put
for
Daniel
something else.
Day-Lewis to commit to learning how to breathe underwater.
You could have a comedic actor be a good part for it. Well, look at Billy Zane. He threads the line from serious, dark character to he can be a lighthearted, goofball.
Did we
I
just
think
get a Billy
Zane
Zane
would be fun.
reference?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, we just had a Billy Zane reference, really?
Let's see your friend Billy Zane. He knows what's up.
I like Billy Zane, but yeah.
I love Billy Zane.
Okay,
Yeah, he was already
here's a legit one.
Panther.
Here's a legit one.
Or the Phantom. Excuse me, the Phantom.
Sam Witwer could play Namor. He was what was it? On Smallville.
Was it?
He was like
Avatar?
the.
That's not the guy from Avatar.
That's Sam Worthington.
Okay, thank God.
Oh, sorry, wrong guy.
Yeah,
Witwer.
Yeah, okay.
Severe eyebrows. He was like, what did he play? He played the guy that could kill Superman. Apocalypse?
Yeah, I don't know.
Masonic.
Nicholas Holt
Yeah,
says
Apocalypse.
Tom
Well, I can't
Hardy.
remember it, though.
Oh, sorry. Ruatu says Nicholas Holt, Tom Hardy, and I hope he's joking with Jared Leto.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Leto. What about Zachary Quinto?
That wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, I see that. How about Pedro Pascal?
Let's just get everybody that's ever played Spock to play.
Nick Cage.
Oh,
The
there
prince.
it is.
No.
There it is.
The prince from Dorne that got his eyes squished out by the mountain. That guy would be good.
I think he's in another project already around that time. I'm not sure.
Oh, Black Panther's still a long ways. It's in pre-production. It's a long ways from filming. They haven't cast everything yet. So, I mean, they have plans for the next 5 years. They already know what their next 5-year plan is, according to Feige.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, no, before we jump, because I was just thinking about this. Dude, the guy played Jon Snow. Cut the hair.
Kid
He's got
Harington.
that-
Yeah.
no.
Maybe someone else for
Too
me,
short.
but I don't know if Kit Harington is right.
Namor's not a tall guy.
I don't care about that.
No,
I
I meant the rapper. Too short.
Let's throw ice.
I just
Even
don't.
there while
I
we're
just,
at it,
I
huh?
just. You got to get the right fit for Kit Harington, because unfortunately, he has been typecast, and his other things he's acted in, he's not shown that prowess yet. So, I don't.
I will say, not Ryan Gosling.
No, not Ryan Gosling either. Okay, moving on. We got a main cast list, and I want to get your guys' thoughts once I bring this up. We talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago about Joss Whedon's doing an HBO show called The Nevers about women in Victorian England fighting supernatural things, and they gave us the entire cast list for it. And I'm going to read off this cast list, and I just want to know what your guys' thoughts are on the main cast, because it's a lot of names. It's Olivia Williams, James Norton, Tom Riley, Anne Skelly, Ben Chaplin, Pip Torrens, Zachary Momo, Amy Manson, Nick Frost, Rochelle Neal, Eleanor Tomlinson, and Dennis O'Hare, with the previous announced cast members of Laura Donnelly. What do you guys think?
I'm excited for Pip Torrens.
Pip Torrens is great. I like Laura Donnelly. She did great work in Outlander.
Yeah.
Amy Manson, she did great work in she was actually in Torchwood, believe it or not, and she did fantastic work in that.
James Norton.
And they've already got. I mean, I'm sold with Nick Frost. I love that guy. And
always love Nick Frost.
I don't know if you guys saw this year the movie that he was in about the family of wrestlers.
Fighting with my family.
Fighting with my family. Yeah, he did. Not necessarily the strict humorous role, but he did a great job in that one too. So he's got range, and I think I think the ensemble that they put together for this will be fun. And considering it's Whedon that's writing it and directing it,
the only Whedon-verse person that I see in there is Olivia Williams, who I love from Dollhouse.
No, there's quite a few.
Are there more?
Yeah.
I really like Dennis O'Hare from True Blood. He was the king of Louisiana or something like that.
Surprised I didn't get Keanu Reeves for this one.
Rochelle Neal was in Dollhouse. There's a few people.
Yeah, but I mean, it usually when you get like main cast announced, it's like 4 people. They came out with like
10.
This is a big cast.
Yeah,
a big cast.
Whedon always has a lot of things running. He's always got a lot of threads that he's tugging on during his productions. So I can
imagine was not in Dollhouse.
If he's going to have this many people, we're going to have a lot to pay attention to, and we're going to have a lot to follow. So it might be kind of intimidating, but I still think it'll be good. I still think it'll be fun.
Is Whedon going to pull a George R.R. Martin, and just people are just going to get killed off like crazy with having this?
You know what?
Cast?
I wouldn't mind, because I don't mind seeing characters die, even if they're big names. I mean, shoot, one of the first freaking movies that I ever saw was freaking Executive Decision, and they killed the biggest name in that, Steven Seagal. First 5 minutes, and the hero was freaking Kurt Russell, nerdy Kurt Russell.
I walked out of that movie after Seagal died. I was like, really, dude? Bye.
Really? That's when I was like, okay, this movie's gonna be great.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, this movie's gonna be weird as hell. But yeah, it was good, and so I don't mind if seeing my heroes die. That's okay. So if he decides to drop the axe on some of these, and as long as if it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be entertaining, whether or not he kills somebody. So I'm on board.
It's Whedon. I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know all the names on there, but just like IC said, I mean, he's got a great background behind him. I haven't been disappointed yet. So
nice. Yeah. I thought it was kind of cool. I mean, it's a long cast list, and so I'm expecting something great. I do like Joss Whedon. I like anything he works on, and the fact that he's writing, directing, and producing this thing for the most part. So it's gonna probably be fantastic, and it's on HBO, so there's no leash on what he can do.
That part I'm actually excited for.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might have to get that subscription again. Damn
it. They're bringing out some big shows to try and keep everybody staying around. So it's not just a factor of like Game of Thrones is gone and we're not going to put anything to replace it. We're going to bring a Game of Thrones prequel.
No,
we're going to bring His Dark Materials. We're going to bring Watchmen. We're going to have Joss Whedon do a new show, and all the other shows that you still liked outside of Veep are still going to be there. So.
This is like the panic that you get when you find a hole in your boat. Just throw everything you can find at it, and hope something plugs that leak, because they've got to fill that power vacuum. I mean, that's the only problem with having the biggest show ever to be on TV. Once it's gone, you got to find something to fill that Game of Thrones shaped hole.
Yeah,
which they had the last 2 seasons of figuring it out. So
yeah, I was watching. To sum it up for the other shows that are on HBO, if you guys watch John Oliver at all, he was throwing a story out there about like some really stupid topic that sounded incredibly boring, and he's like 2 more weeks of the biggest lead ever, because he followed Game of Thrones, and he's like, I gotta ride that dragon train while I can. And it's hilarious.
I love that it was so angered about Game of Thrones that it was a joke consistently at Comic-Con, because like they talked about the last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Greg Clark is like, and the dragons look fantastic. Like it was just a constant punchline at Comic-Con.
They brought it up in the Supernatural panel too, and he's like, I think we're gonna shoot a little higher than Game of Thrones. He's like, I'm estimating 33% of the fans are gonna love it.
What they said, because I rewatched it as I edited it to put it on there, they said, if you were pissed about Game of Thrones, just wait.
Oh yeah, that's it, yeah.
nice.
Which obviously he was kidding about, if you don't know Andrew Dabb or understand his humor, but it sent off a flurry of online panic, and I'm like, oh my god, relax, people.
And even in the Preacher panel, Seth Rogen brought up like, hey, at least I showed up for our last panel. So it was just a constant joke at Comic-Con. So last bit of nerd news to talk about. We want to talk about something that wasn't so much in the pop culture vein, but technology.
Science, baby.
Exactly. Science. Yeah.
She blinded me with science.
3, 2, 1, contact.
All right. I have 20/20 vision, and my wife hates me for it. Who besides Super, does anybody else wear glasses on this cast?
I am currently wearing contacts, sir.
So you do wear contacts. Anybody else?
Yes.
I have a prescription, but I don't wear them.
Okay.
Ever.
Well, this is the
I'm going to turn 39 soon, and I still have 20/15 vision.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, my wife made me go to a doctor's visit for the eye doctor after I hadn't been there for 10 years. And when I did the appointment, and then they went, your eyes are perfect. There's nothing wrong. Everything is fantastic. Because she was like expecting them to find something wrong. She's like, you haven't been 10 years. They're going to find something. And then when they said my eyesight was perfect and nothing was wrong with my eyes, she got pissed. So, because she's worn glasses her entire life. So, yeah. But leading on to the reason I'm talking about this, there is technology that was released that there's going to be contact lenses coming out that will let you zoom on command with your contact lenses.
Okay, I have one question, and I need to know this. Is it going to be like when you can adjust your mouse scroll speed? Set it too fast, you do the double blink, you're like, ah!
Exactly, that's my fear. So it's when you double blink, the contact lenses will zoom in, and I keep thinking about the enhance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Zoom and enhance.
Alexa, zoom in.
I just keep on picturing the comedy movie connotations where somebody double blinks and all of a sudden they're like deep focused on the threads of somebody's shirt 300 yards away.
Well, my fear is, what if you get something in your eye and you're driving?
Oh, yeah. You feel like suddenly there's giant amoeba invading everywhere?
So, for those that wear glasses and contact lenses, have you ever found a moment where you need a zoom in on your...
No, not me.
Unfortunately, as you hit that ripe age of 44 and 45, yeah, that will come in handy, I'm sure, in the next 5 to 6 years.
So it is a need, I guess, when you get to a certain age.
Not a need right now, but possibly in the future.
Yeah, maybe in the future, but not right now.
I'm not looking at it as a need. I'm not looking at it as a corrective lens. I'm looking at it as a awesome body mod that I cannot wait to get that kind of stuff going. Like,
because
yeah.
I can think
think of cyberpunk. All right, let's do it.
Just the practical military application of that, man. God.
Oh yeah, you blink the one eye in a certain way, and all of a sudden they're night vision contacts.
That'd
Awesome.
be cool.
Do that.
I could use it.
Predator vision. Let's get predator vision.
Rurutu says, I want some bionic eyes. I'm not going to get first generation of new tech, but wait 10 years. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, no, don't be an early adopter. That'd be a terrible idea.
It just burns your retina completely out.
The Samsung Galaxy i5.
Oh no, just blowing up, and then your washing machine blows up.
Oh man.
Oh god.
I definitely would be excited to see something like that, but I'm not too concerned about something getting in your eye because as I wear contacts all the time, I don't really have that issue a lot. But what happens if, like, say, for example, you tell it to focus in and it goes halfway, or maybe it's only one eye that does it, or anything like that? I mean, that's, if you want to know what 3D is like, yeah, go ahead and take one contact and make it different than the other. And yeah, there you go. So
I'm definitely excited to watch what happens. Not get them. I just want to see the outcome. It's like watching a freaking smart car, a driverless car drive around. You're like, is it going to crash? I can't wait to see this if it's going to crash.
Yes. Anytime somebody gets a pair of those, they should have a second person there filming the first 15 minutes that they have them on.
Exactly.
at the same time, I want a hover skateboard. And for God's sake, with all the money we're putting into this, can we at least get rid of something like diabetes? Come on. If we have contacts, they're going to focus. Can we just kill something out?
So Peteopolis says, I'll wait until they have the Google Pay features. And then Rurutu makes a good point. What's the battery life on them? Because that's the interesting thing, I guess. It doesn't say anything about that.
Or how about if we get like 20 or 30 years in the future and all of a sudden the company's trying to figure out how to blast your freaking eyeballs with ads and stuff like that, like Ready Player One.
I was going even earlier than that. I was thinking, what was the one with the precogs?
Oh, freaking
Fifth Element.
Minority Report.
Minority Report. Yeah, sorry.
Fifth Element. What?
Yeah, sorry. I just, it's funny. I just watched Minority Report 2 days ago too. That's hilarious. Yeah, I need to have another beverage apparently.
Rurutu says Futurama. Okay. The other bit of technology news, and I thought this one was actually really, really cool, but was it MIT students or who was it that came up with this? They figured out an algorithm using machine vision that can spot the links between classic artwork based off of the positioning that the body positions on the paintings.
Yes. They can take two different body positions and they can find links between all of the classic artworks. And that's, I don't think it's that stellar, but it's a jumping point from having a computer that doesn't know anything about classic artwork and architecture to being able to identify what's an original work, what's not an original work, what's a copy. And that's, it has really good application possibilities.
Just the huge evolution in processing and image recognition that have happened in the last 5-10 years is incredible.
Oh, yes.
7 years ago, you couldn't have a computer identify a picture of a bird. It'd be cheaper to have a dude looking through magazines going, there's a bird as a full-time job than to write that programming.
Exactly.
It's the fact that it's to the point where not only can they recognize shapes and colors, but actual themes. It's kind of incredible.
Or influences, which all you have to do is read
the influences, because it's like, hey, we can see how this artist was influenced by this artist because they, and that was a huge thing because that's, artwork today. A lot of people, the first thing they do is they look at other photos and copy by freehand those photos to learn how to draw in that format. So learning who some of these classic artists used as a influence, I think is awesome. It's huge.
Here's another thing you could do. You can go two ways. You can go to your local library and get a book on the artist, and they'll tell you what their influences were. Or if you want to go new,
if
Google
they were
it.
able to figure it out, this is giving them a lot more. It's finding it easier. It's giving them a lot more in depth of discovering, because they said it was hard for for computers to do it before, and the fact that it's being able to do it, it's giving them more connections between all
No,
the
I get what
influences.
you're saying there, but like I said, you're using computers to figure this out when all you have to do is open up a book and be like, oh, hey, look, he says my influence was Da Vinci. Awesome.
Well, not all classic artists actually had interviews that
A lot of the classic artists, or back in those days, obviously, because there was no television and stuff, they would at least write something, a journal. Someone would write a book about them, something like that. None of them would go through life without writing something down about their life. So I don't know. It's almost seemed like it's a lazy way of just not going to the library, or hell, if anything, Googling it, reading some stuff about your artist. You know?
Yeah. Wikipedia is an amazing tool. I'm kind of picturing this as the Ancestry.com for paintings. This painting is 27% Da Vinci, 3% Raphael. Like, oh,
It's 23andMe for Renaissance.
exactly.
See, I'm gonna go back. Pete in there is with me, man. Get rid of diabetes. Wilford Brimley could sell some Zoom contact lenses. Absolutely. Come on, guys.
I mean, the man needs to be selling mustache trimmers, is what he needs.
I just read not too long ago that they actually tweaked, I think it was the polio virus, to attack brain cancer cells. So they're like 2 steps away from using one virus to kill another virus. I mean, there's so many things, so many awesome scientific breakouts that are coming out, but news doesn't cover it because they're too busy worrying about a year's worth of freaking Democratic debates.
Naruto says, so which artist influenced Naruto character designs? Dragon Ball Z? No.
Naruto?
Jim Henson.
No. Well, yeah, you don't watch anime. I understand. I see.
I know what a Naruto runner is just because I have idiots posting Area 51 memes on my page for like the last.
Yeah. You know what the funniest thing about that whole Area 51 thing was that there had to be some high-level government meeting somewhere where somebody with a completely straight face had to explain to a general or a secretary what the fuck a Naruto run was, and that would have been something that I needed to see it.
So, Major General, a Karen is. Has your wife ever asked to see the manager?
Here is the battle plan in case the 1.5 million people decide to show up.
Peteopolis says Naruto inspired by Raid Area 51 guy.
There was absolutely a straight-faced, dead-ass serious meeting.
You know what? I'm just, and this is the thing. It's podcast in this current climate can't go without bringing up the Area 51 raid at some point. Everybody's bringing it up. I mean, we were at Comic-Con. Who was it? Was it the Game of Thrones panel? I can't remember which panel it was, but the first thing they said was, I want to know who's going to be storming it. Oh, it was the Russo brothers. The Russo brothers asked who's going to be storming Area 51 with them as a joke.
They're probably going to film some of it and use it for Avengers 4.
I think it's just a cleansing of the Instagrammers that have nothing better to do, but their followers are their life. Because, you know, it's going to be all those Instagrammers that are going to be out there, and it's just going to cleanse the stupidity. So, just the stupidity of actually trying to raid a military base is just, I can't believe it. Okay.
Especially that one.
Yeah. Should we talk about the last thing or just
Might as well. We're already over.
Okay.
What the
So
hell?
this is it's somebody's got to talk about it. Favorite holiday of the year for many people is Halloween, and it has always fallen on October 31st every single year.
Wait, it's Arbor Day. What are you talking about, dude? Arbor Day.
Well, what about all those memes that I saw that said that this year Halloween is going to be on Friday the 13th for the first time in 666 years?
That's stupid. So there is a petition at change.org. I think it's a petition place. Yeah. To make Halloween the last Saturday of October every single year. Now, it can't be changed unless its government takes control of the holiday. But they've petitioned, and they've got a lot of people signing up for it. And somebody's got to talk about it that we got to talk about on this is Snickers is backing it. Snickers is, if they get it changed, they will give out how many free candy bars?
1 million.
1 million bars.
1 million candy bars.
1 million. So it's like trick or treating for everybody. Well, for a million people.
Where the distribution center is going to be, I will be there.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on this and Snickers backing it?
Snickers is the best candy bar ever, bar none. It is number one on the Mount Rushmore of candy bars. And two, absolutely, that makes sense. We do that with Thanksgiving every year. It's the third Thursday or whatever. Halloween, if it's in the middle of the week, sucks. Yeah, let's make it a Saturday.
Anybody else? Anybody?
I think it's a good call. I mean, just because of the simple fact that, like you said, if it's on a school night, I have a kid, it makes it kind of difficult to go and have really good fun on Halloween when he's got to be at school at 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever,
I understand for the kids factor of it. For me, Aaron, bust out the Snickers, not a sponsor.
Nice.
Is that one of the free
I
ones?
signed the petition. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Was that in the freezer? Tell me it was in the freezer.
He was sitting on it. He was sitting on it.
Oh, so it's all soft and gooey?
How do we know that's a Snickers?
Oh, God.
Do you want a gummy bear? Then
Floating
so
in
they're
the
all
pool.
soft and chewy.
Okay, I understand on the kids front, like, yeah, school and stuff like that, but for me as an adult, it's like I get Halloween twice when it doesn't end up falling on the weekend, because then I actually do Halloween on the day of Halloween with the trigger, and then I have a party, because we always do the parties on the weekends. Everybody always does the parties on the weekends.
Oh, yeah.
So when it falls on the weekend, it ends up being Halloween's everything is there on that one day. You don't get Halloween twice. So I kind of
Are you trick or treating with the kids?
No, I'm actually the one giving the candy. We get into a driveway in a circle around a fire pit, and the kids come up to us, and we're handing out all the trick or treating candy, and I enjoy that. I enjoy doing that.
Doing it right.
Okay, well, just
Picture of
combine the two.
margaritas.
Oh yeah, there you go. Hey, little kitties, come on up to the drunk people around the fire.
We do it in my in-laws, and the entire basically cul-de-sac gets together on their driveway, and we bring there's pizza and chicken and drinks, and you just make the kids walk through that line of people sitting around the bonfire, and hope none of the kids fall into the bonfire.
It makes it annoying for the people that do want to have Halloween parties, because now you're going to have to do your parties on a night that's not Halloween, or else you're going to have trick-or-treaters.
Okay, so hold on a second. Halloween did not start off by people having block parties. Halloween was going around handing out candy and stuff, right? Block parties came second. So you gotta cater to number one.
Candy had nothing to do with Samhain in the first place, but
whatever. I'm just going with the fact.
Our producer's not on tonight, but he would correct you. It's Samhain.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever partied with druids? Because
this is a comment that's usually brought up by the people that are against it as well. Hey, while we're at it, let's move Christmas Day to the last Sunday of the month. Which, no, you're not going to do that. So yeah, it's not Labor Day, it's not Memorial Day, it's not So I don't know. The Halloween truthers want it on the 31st.
Halloween truthers.
There's Halloween truthers, man. They need it on 31st. That's Halloween. It's October 31st. So.
When are they storming Area 51 again?
So
let's go back to the real holiday, dude. Arbor Day. Come on, seriously. Why are we even talking about this puke holiday, Halloween or whatever? Christmas is a joke. I mean, I'm going to be wearing a beard in December, but I know the real holiday is Arbor Day.
Going to a Halloween convention tomorrow in
at Costco?
August.
At Costco? No. You're going to Halloween Costco?
At the Long Beach Arena.
I know, but I'm just making a joke because next week Christmas ornaments are coming out at Costco.
No.
Probably.
What's in stores? What has been going in stores for the last month? Halloween decorations. It's Halloween's huge.
It's August. Everybody stock up.
Do you have that little
get your wine for Thanksgiving? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Mess, do you have that little Halloween town kind of setup like they do Christmas one? But do you have the Halloween version of that?
I've thought about it. I've honestly thought about getting some of those little.
I knew it.
Halloween's a big thing in my house. So, I mean, yeah, it's.
So one time you don't have to worry about wearing a mask. You look normal. Hey.
I go all out for my costumes.
What?
He doesn't have to wear a mask. He looks normal. Hey.
I love the time that I was at work and I was dressing up as the Phantom of the Opera, and while putting on my makeup, people kept coming in to buy beds, and I had to cover my face when they had kids because I didn't want to terrify them, because the kids would get scared of me. So I literally...
See, yeah, I didn't know if he was going Phantom of the Opera or what was his name, Eric Stoltz, the Mask,
The Mask, yeah.
Or a typical Friday.
I think we lost Super because she's frozen as well.
Oh yeah, I gotta go home.
Okay, so that's it. That's our cast for this week. Let us know what your thoughts are on any of the stuff that we talked about in the comments below. Oh, it's Super's back. Any of the comments below. She needs to go home, so let's talk to her first about where you can follow her outside of this. You're gonna want to follow her because she's doing Gish, so I'm sure things are gonna be popping up on her Twitter that are gonna be really fun to laugh at and look at. So, Super, where can people follow you outside of this cast?
Follow me on Twitter at SuperRubyandNut, and you can follow me on Instagram at SuperRubyandFreak. There is some stuff already out there on the Twitter, links to donations, weird viral videos that I've been subtweeting for other groups that are trying to get their points, donations, link to our donations if you want to go and donate some money for our group or other groups to raise funds to help clean up the country and of Laos, and donate money to build prosthetic limbs for the children that have lost limbs due to the bombs, and the IEDs and stuff that are littered around the country from the war. So if you want to, I'll post the links again on my Twitter tonight, and you can go donate to a good cause.
Nice. Aaron, where can people follow you outside of this cast?
All right, you can follow me at Instagram and at Twitter, both at DOS Newport Kid, and I'm also on Xbox Live and PlayStation Network. Same handle, DOS Newport Kid.
Nice. I see Zorro. Where can they follow your snot-filled throat?
Wow, really?
At ICZorro on Twitter, Instagram, and PlayStation Network.
Send him a lozenge, folks. Make him feel better.
I'm gonna go chug half a bottle of NyQuil.
Give him a gif of a hug and some chicken noodle soup.
I'm gonna go robo-tripping.
Masonic Vader, where can people follow you outside this cast?
You can follow me on Twitter, Masonic Vader, Masonic Vader 71 on PlayStation Network, and like you mentioned before, next week I think we're going to be getting the good old Smack Talk cast back together again, pre SummerSlam. So look forward to seeing us back next week, guys.
Polyfuse says when he was a kid, Halloween on the weekend was like hitting the lotto.
With a big ass bag of pillowcase full of candy. Absolutely.
Well, I like the comment that was in there earlier was that the best time for Halloween is November 1st when candy's 50% off at Target for trick-or-treating. So, if you want to follow this cast, you can follow it on Twitter at All Nerd Podcast. You can follow everything we do over on YouTube at the Malice Corp channel or on our website, malice-corp.com. Wherever you're finding us, listening, watching, reading, make sure that you're subscribing, supporting. Thank you. We appreciate it greatly when you give us feedback so that we know what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong and how we can get better. If you want to interact with us at any time, you can also come over to Facebook under groups and look up All Things Nerd Podcast and come chit chat with us over there. Drop interesting story ideas and article ideas and memes or whatever you want, just to have some fun to talk about everything in the world of nerd, geek, and pop culture. If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter at Mest_MaliceCorp or on Instagram at Mest5150. And hopefully I'll have some stuff coming out for you guys from the convention for Halloween. And then there's still some more stuff coming from San Diego Comic-Con that'll be posting. I know it's 2 weeks late, but it takes a lot to post all this stuff. So with that, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you next Friday. You keep nerding on, and we out.
Yes. Peace.
Peace.
Carry on.